Hey, Eastern Oregon, thank you for joining us today on this COVID update on March the 30th. Can you believe it? It's the 30th of March, 21.
No.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it was a blink and we were dealing with this 6 months ago, right?
Yeah, I was actually just thinking about it yesterday that I think it's been just around a year since we had our first case here in Union County. I can't quite remember the date, but it was in March. And so, yeah, it is very unbelievable that we've been at this for such a long time. And, but also still really hopeful that we're getting closer to having more and more of our community members and Oregonians and other folks vaccinated. So I think that definitely will help us get back to more sense of normalcy.
Yeah. So, well, let's start there. Let's talk about vaccinations and where we are in the track and who's next and who we just got done with. Why don't you take off from there?
Sure. Yeah. So, obviously right now, one of our big focuses is vaccine. We are trying to get vaccine out to everybody who is interested and in the currently eligible group. So, we've been doing this for a few months now, and we are now getting closer to opening it up to Phase B Group 7, which I think is the last group before we open it up to anybody who wants it. Right now, we're vaccinating Phase 1B Group 6, and thank you. It's really helpful to have the visual up there. That group opened on Monday, so we've had appointments and started vaccinating that group this week. And then next Monday, we'll be able to open it up to the next group. So the current group that just opened up this week is, focused on people that have underlying conditions that are 45 and older that weren't in the previous groups, and then certain sectors where they're more likely to be exposed given the nature of the work that they're doing, and also similarly given the nature of where people may live. So if they're living in a congregate setting, they're more likely to interact with other folks, then they're a priority in that group. And then obviously you see our wildland firefighters, knowing that we're getting closer to summer and needing their support if we do have wildfires. So, and then next week it opens to Group 7. And I think this is a group I really wanted to highlight and really wanted to talk about. We actually have appointments open right now at chdinc.org/GB, which stands for Get Vaccinated, for people in this group. And this is a pretty broad group. So I think that if there are people in our county that are interested in getting vaccinated that did not fit into one of the previous groups, I would strongly encourage you to look closely at the criteria for this group, because it's broad, and I think many members of Union County will fit into this group. So I think the overarching tenet of this group is really the frontline workers, and that would be anyone whose job puts them at higher risk for contracting COVID-19. So that could include regular close contact with somebody that's outside of their household, so less than 6 feet, routine close contact with people outside of their household, and folks that are working in jobs or positions where they really can't do it in any other way, like their job requires them to be in contact with others. And if you look at page 2 of that document that you had pulled up, and we can make sure that the links are posted, there's really detailed lists of who might fit into that category. So again, it's like I said, it's very detailed. I don't have it memorized, which is why I just encourage anybody who wants to get the vaccine to go take a look at this and see if you fit into that group. And if you feel like you fit into one of those groups and you're ready, go to our website and schedule your appointment, and we will get you your first dose of vaccine next week. So I really do think that there's a lot of people that are going to fit this group. And like I said, we have appointments available now. So please go take a look. And if you're interested, come schedule an appointment. I do want to emphasize also that there's no cost. We're not billing your insurance. You just need to schedule an appointment, complete the information that's on the scheduling website, and come on down and we'll get you vaccinated. If the computer is a barrier for you for any reason, give us a call at CHD 962-8800 and we will help you through the process.
So sorry, this is so clunky, but I'm trying to get this zoomed in. So then people, so the details are on page 2, but the frontline workers, individuals 50 years or older residing with a relative. So yeah, and then the next stage is phase 2, right? Which is the hope is that it'll be open to everyone by May 1st. Is that right?
Right. Yeah. And there was another group at the bottom of that sheet, which is the 16 and
there we go. Yeah.
16 to 44 was one of the underlying health conditions that are also pretty broad. They're on the 3rd page of this document. Again, we can make sure you have links, but I do want to let Union County residents know that we do not have Pfizer vaccine currently in Union County, and the Pfizer vaccine is what you would need if you were 16 or 17 years old, right? So the Moderna vaccine that we have, the Johnson & Johnson vaccine that we have, it is only allowed to be used for people that are 18 and older. So right now, as it stands, we wouldn't be able to vaccinate somebody even if they were currently eligible and they were 16 or 17. But I do want to let you all know that I am working to see if at some point in the future we could get some Pfizer here in Union County so we could get those eligible persons that are in that group. But right now we're just doing the 18 plus and we're working on seeing if we can get the Pfizer at some point. So when more of those folks in that age group become eligible, we can get them vaccinated.
So somebody asked the question, if you have allergies of some sort, are you not able to get the vaccine at all?
So there are certain types of allergies that would preclude you from getting the vaccine. If you go onto our scheduling website, there's actually a set of questions that you would answer that would help us determine whether or not you had one of those allergies. It's not going to be like a seasonal allergy. It's not going to be like a pet allergy. It would be an allergy to a component of the vaccine. And so, like I said, those components would be part of our questionnaire. But if you are concerned that you have one of those allergies, you can definitely reach out to us and we can try and help you navigate whether or not it would be something that you were able to get or not able to get. But for the most part, it would be like a medication allergy or reaction to a similar vaccine in the past. But, I definitely encourage you to talk to your healthcare provider or talk to, call us and we'll try and help you navigate that because we wouldn't want you to not get vaccinated. We want to get your questions answered and make sure that you know what whether or not you're eligible. Okay.
And again, what is that website? And we'll try and get it put up here in a minute that you mentioned.
Well, our scheduling website is chdinc.org/GV, which stands for Get Vaccinated. And that's actually where the scheduling information can be found. That would be the best place to go. I mentioned our email listserv, which is chdinc.org/subscribe, which is where you can go to get, email updates. We're only sending out information when we open up new clinics or open up new groups. So it's not a high volume. We're not sending out anything else but vaccine updates. So yeah, I think the other thing that I want to let the community know is that I feel like we've been operating a little bit from a scarcity mindset because, we've continued to get this message that the vaccine's limited and that we need to, prioritize certain folks because we don't have enough supply. But right now what we're seeing is more and more supply coming to the state and coming to our county. And we don't have our allocations yet for next week, but we do think there's a really good chance that we're going to get an increase in vaccine next week. And so I'm sharing this because I imagine there could be some people in our community that really, want to wait and make sure that people who maybe they think need it more than them get their turn. They're stepping back and honestly, like, I understand, it's like you want to let other people have a turn because you know that there might be people that need the vaccine because they have some of these underlying health issues or they have issues that make it really important that they get it. But we've kind of reached a point where if you're eligible, the best thing for you to do is to get the vaccine, because you getting the vaccine keeps the members of our community safe. And we're at a point where the supply is coming closer to meeting the demand. So I would just, if you are eligible in the current criteria and you want a vaccine, please go schedule an appointment. We have enough to get the people that are in the current eligibility groups. And so we really don't want people to wait and delay. We want them to get the vaccine now so we can get that protection in our community.
And part of the purpose of the vaccine is to reduce the severity of it also if they get it. So some of the vaccines might not have as high of a percentage rate of preventing it, and that's a whole nother discussion. But certainly part of it is that if you do get it, and that's kind of shown across a number of different things, that it will be less severe, less chance of you being in the hospital. Yeah.
Yeah, I have been living COVID-19 for over a year now, and I still feel like every day I learn things that are new. And I actually did a little bit of research yesterday and learned a little bit more about vaccines, and it was really a helpful perspective for me. So, we have multiple vaccines. Looking at their efficacy data, some of them may look like they're more effective, some may look like they're less effective. And I think that one of the things that was really helpful for me to hear yesterday is that, with any vaccine, we're not 100% going to stop you from getting the virus. So, we have a 95%, 90% based on the studies that came out yesterday, percent efficacy with the Pfizer or the Moderna. So, there is still a chance that you could contract the virus, even if you're vaccinated. But what that vaccine will do, and if you look at the clinical trials for all three of the vaccines that we're using in our country right now and in our state, every single one of those in those trials demonstrated that it reduced the severity of the illness and it reduced the likelihood of hospitalization and death. And so the reality is that you may very well get COVID-19 even if you're vaccinated. And we've seen it in the news. There have definitely been what we call breakthrough cases. But the idea is that vaccine will prevent the severity of the illness, keep you out of the hospital, and keep you from dying. And I think that's really helpful for me to think about. And I think if we look at other vaccines that are commonly used, the flu is the same way. I mean, we know that people may get the flu when they get their flu shot, but their likelihood that they're going to have a really, really severe case of the disease is lower. So I guess that for me was a really great perspective setter. And it just really, again, reinforces that all of the vaccines are good vaccines, and all of the vaccines will help protect you and those around you and the members of our community. And so if you have the opportunity to get one of them, please do.
Good word. Good word. And we always just need to keep looking out for those people that maybe they don't have the electronic means to connect and schedule. And so again, this is your information. If people need to reach out, or if you want to write an email on behalf of someone else, that's the place to go. So
yeah, we definitely don't want anybody to be, left out or, not feel like they can get an appointment if they can't schedule their appointment online. Definitely give us a call. Please, as we've asked before, please continue to share information with people that you know and care about that may not be seeing Facebook or social media or watching us here today. We are definitely trying to get the word out in the paper and on the radio and pretty much any possible means that we can. But if you know somebody that you think might want to get vaccinated and have one or any barriers to getting that appointment online, please reach out to them, let them know they can call us, or you can even help them schedule their appointment. You can go online, collect their information, and do it for them. It's a pretty straightforward, easy, simple process. And so, again, we're all in this together. Just everything we can do to help keep our community safe, because the reality is that the more folks we get vaccinated, the less COVID-19 we will have in our community, and the closer we will be to getting back to our more normal lives that I know all of us are craving.
Good. Now, there's some new guidance for what it means to be fully vaccinated. You want to talk about that for a minute?
Yeah. So, basically, we would consider somebody fully vaccinated when they have completed the series of their vaccine. And so if you are somebody who's getting one of the 2-dose vaccine, which is in Union County most likely to be Moderna, but you could get Pfizer. There are people here that have gotten Pfizer. It would be 2 weeks after your second dose. We would consider you to be fully vaccinated. So if you get the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, it's a 1-dose vaccine. So again, 2 weeks after your single dose, we would consider you to be fully vaccinated. I think that we really want to remind people that we still need to be cautious. There's still COVID-19 in the community. And as I said earlier, the vaccine will not 100% guarantee that you won't get COVID-19. And even if you got it, you might have such a mild case because you were vaccinated, you wouldn't know it and you could spread it to others. So we really need to make sure and continue to do the masking and the physical distancing, and really trying to limit our interactions with people outside of our household to limit the spread. And of course, really, really, really wanting to remind people to stay home if they're symptomatic. And I think if you look at the symptoms for COVID-19, like you might think, oh, I'm just having allergies, which by the way, I felt like I've had allergies this week because I feel like the weather's changing and I feel like maybe I'm a little bit more stuffy than normal. And I think that we tend to write off symptoms. And so we're like, oh, it's just a runny nose. It's no big deal. I probably have an allergies or a cold. But, we definitely continue to have situations where people work while they're sick or work while they have symptoms. And that, leads to more people contracting the virus. And so, again, I know it can be really challenging for some people to take time away from work. It has real consequences for many people. Their income suffers, that definitely creates challenges. So I want to also remind people that we do have resources to help. There are the wraparound services that can support you with finances, food, lodging, even if you're not able to isolate or quarantine where you're currently staying. And we also know about resources that might help you with lost wages. So again, really just encourage you to reach out to us if, staying home if you're sick is a hardship for you, because we can find you some support and assistance to make that possible.
Good. All righty. Well, thanks so much. Is there anything else that we need to touch on, Carrie?
No, I just think I really do. It does feel like we're getting closer to this being, resolved, or, the vaccine, like I said earlier, definitely gives hope. But, we are seeing, we're still seeing the virus in our community, and there are still people that really will get severely ill from this virus. And really just, continuing to ask people to stay vigilant, continue to do the things that we've asked them to do. And I think the other thing is that, we have vaccine available. It is a tool that helps prevent COVID-19, helps protect our community. And if you have any, if there are any reasons why you're hesitant or you may have concerns about getting the vaccine, you're on the fence, you need more information, please go to our website. We have a lot of really good resources and information that might help you get the answer to that question that you need to decide to do it. I know I've told you before, there was a period of time where I wasn't sure. I didn't know if I wanted to get the vaccine. Like, there was definitely quite a long period of time where I wasn't decided. And there was information that I needed to get that allowed me to make that decision to get the vaccine. And so I understand that people do have questions. They may have concerns and hesitations, but there's also, every day we get more and more information about the vaccine, about the virus. And so, I would encourage you to check out our website, chdinc.org. We have lots of information. So that might help people make a decision if they're having questions or they need more information to decide whether or not to get vaccinated.
Good. And what have our numbers been like? I haven't been following. So to stay in the category where we are, we've been having to stay under 45 or 40 something. And
right.
where are we at now?
Yeah, so right now we're still staying in that moderate risk category. We're in the middle of the second week. And so, by Saturday, we should know how many cases we have for that 2-week period that will decide whether or not we move into another category or not. So, right now we're looking good. I think that I've said it before, I don't have a crystal ball. And I think that, it's literally day by day. I won't know until Saturday when, we look at the numbers for that day where we're going to be. But I'm hopeful that we'll be able to continue in this trend. I have seen the state's numbers going up a little bit over the last few days. So I think, again, that's why I want to ask our community to help us stay in moderate, because it's possible. We've been doing it. And I understand it's easy to try, to want to get back to normal, but we have the ability to stay moderate, and I sure want to stay there. So.
All righty. Well, Carrie, thank you. And thank you for your hard work and all those people who support you and what it is that you're doing. And we appreciate you coming on, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks to talk more about how we're doing. And thank you, Eastern Oregon, for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.